Okay, so the wait ends and let's begin with the session. So are you guys excited? I hope you guys must be since it's an online session. I can't hear the cheers, but yeah, I'm sure you guys are excited to learn about new technologies from Google. So let's begin. Okay. So Shweta, next slide, please. Okay. So like you could just scan this QR for the updates okay. So there was a QR and you could just scan the QR for the updates and let's begin with the session. That is today's agenda. So like today's agenda is consisting of 5 points. So like firstly, what is Google I/O Extended for developers? Then we have I/O Extended for developers stream and the icebreaker quiz. So you'll have a quiz as well from the stream. So like you should pay like attention to the stream. So the winners of the quiz will get a shout out at the end. Then we have a pathway to become a senior developer by Paytm by Shreyas Bhaiya. Then we have a thank you note. Okay, so let's begin. So a very good evening to one and all present here. I, Varsha, a member of GDSC core team, welcome you all to this session of Google I/O Extended Watch Party. Today, we would not only be learning about latest Google technologies, but we also have a speaker session with none other than our alumni Shreyash Patil regarding the pathway to become a senior developer at Paytm. So the first question which would come to your mind is what is Google I/O Extended? Okay, so I'm sure many of you might have this question. So to answer that, Google I/O Extended is a series of local events held around the world after Google I/O. They are organized by the Google developer clubs and offer a chance for developers to learn more about Google's latest products and services and network with other developers and get involved in Google developer community. So Google I/O Extended is a mini version of Google I/O, the main event that takes place in California. However, instead of going all the way to California, you can attend Google I/O Extended in your local area. The event is hosted by local tech communities like our GDSC DYPCOE, and it's a great opportunity to network, learn, and have fun with some like-minded people. So let me tell you, Google I/O Extended has already been hosted in Pune at 3 locations. So even if you have missed those I/O Extended, like don't worry, we have it covered with you in this event. So now I would like to hand over to Soham, who would like to brief you about what is Google I/O for developers and how is it different from normal Google I/O. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Varsha, for this amazing introduction about this session. So, hello everyone, myself Soham Varji. I am from GDSC DYPCE as well. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this anticipated Google I/O Extended event. We are very excited to host you guys here. Before we kick off to the main event or the main watch party that we all are excited about, I'm here to just tell you a few differentiators in what Google I/O keynote is and in what Google I/O developers keynote is. So Google I/O keynote is a flagship event that happens at Google I/O conference. It is a momentous occasion where Google's top executives take the stage, unveil the ground revealing projects, products, and services. The keynote sets the stage for the entire conference and showcases Google's future vision. From new advancement in Android to breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, this keynote covers a wide range of exciting topics. But as our name says, Developers Club, we all are developers, right? We want to know the what goes behind that technology as well. So there's a part called Developers Keynote in the Google I/O event. This keynote is specifically designed for developers, engineers, and creators who want to explore the technical aspects of Google platforms and tools. मतलब बेसिकली इसे मोटे मोटे शब्दों में समझाया जाए ना तो if Google gives a broad overview about latest innovations in the keynote, the developer keynote is to inspire the technical experts to use those innovations in their projects. So speaking as a part of GDSC DYPCOE, we aim to bring the same spirit in our local community, in our local developers community as well. So I wish you all the best. Ki it's a fantastic opportunity to witness firsthand how Google is pushing the boundaries of technology. And who better to tell you about that than the Google developer experts themselves. So in our today's session, we have Mr. Shreyash Patil, who is a Google developer expert himself. But before we start with his session, we'll have a watch party session in the developer's keynote. So I think we should shoot off to that. Yeah, I'll present my screen. Shweta? Can anybody please confirm if my screen is visible?
Yeah, so it's
Yes, it is
visible.
visible.
Thank you so much.
It's exciting to see how the world of AI. It's exciting to see how the world of AI is transforming all types of developer workflows. It's making traditional tasks easier and the previously impossible entirely within reach. We want to share 3 things from the world of mobile and Android development with you. First, how we're bringing the power of AI directly into the Android developer workflow to help you be more productive. Next, how you can build for the multi-device world that your users are asking for. And finally, how our language, toolkit, and tool improvements seamlessly converge in the modern Android development stack. As you saw earlier, AI is the next breakthrough that will define mobile. And I'd like to invite my colleague Jamal to share how we're putting AI directly into Android Studio. Jamal, tell us more.
Thanks, Matthew. I'm going to share with you an example that underscores not just how we approach AI, but how we approach everything we build for you as mobile developers. Focus on helping you stay productive, become more efficient, and get the most out of Google technologies. Now, if you didn't know, 10 years ago, we launched Android Studio with a focus on delivering innovative Android developer tools. Today, let me show you how we're continuing to help accelerate your development with demo innovations in AI called Android Studio Bot. StudioBot is a highly integrated AI-powered helper in Android Studio designed to make you more productive. We are in the early days, but I want to give you a sneak peek. Okay, let's jump in. Now you can find the preview release of StudioBot and Android Studio Hedgehog, which you can find in the Canary channel. Okay, here I'm working on the JetStack app, and I'm excited to get the app ready for the all-new Android hardware, especially tablets. Now, my tablet UI, it looks okay, though it could be better. But you know, I don't remember all the best practices in creating tablet layouts. But this is where StudioBot comes in. Now, StudioBot is found in a new assistant window that you can find in the toolbar. And what's unique about this chat setup is that you don't need to send your source code to Google, just a chat dialogue between you and the bot. Okay, I've already typed a prompt to create a layout for an Android tablet. All right, nice. I have a quick response on how to add this layout. Now, what's nice about this integration in Android Studio is that you can recognize the response as code with the right syntax highlighting per your custom ID settings. However, StudioBot does more than just generating code. It's a place to ask questions in context. So for instance, I don't need this layout in XML, but in Kotlin, since I'm doing this app in Jetpack Compose. So let's ask StudioBot. How do I do this in Jetpack Compose? Submit. And perfect. The code makes sense. And it gives me additional guidance and documentation. And you know how important tests are. Let's also ask StudioBot to create a unit test as well. So let's see. Can you create a unit test for this? And submit. And note, I'm just having a conversation with StudioBot. And it remembers the context between question to question. And great. StudentBot created the unit test right in context. Pretty cool. Now, as you look at the code for a composed layout, there are steps such as importing various dependencies. StudentBot recognizes this. And with the smart actions that StudentBot generates, I can directly convert this snippet into my project with the right imports and dependencies. So let's try it out. So let me click on this Explore and Playground, expand, and there we go. We've moved from code snippet to actual code with StudioBot. Pretty cool. Lastly, we have added entry points to StudioBot and key points in the IDE, both in the code editor and in the logs. So for instance, earlier today, I was debugging a problem in my Android manifest. I can open up Logcat, right-click on a crash, and send it to StudioBot. And just press submit. And there we go. StudioBot explains the crash, and it knows that I forgot to add the internet permission. And it also gives me a quick action to add the missing line of code to my manifest, which I can fix in one click. So I'm excited, but we're just at the beginning of this AI journey, and we invite you to download the latest version of Android Studio with StudioBot, try it out, and share your feedback. Now, once you've built your app with the help of StudioBot, you're ready to publish to Google Play. And here, we're also bringing the power of AI. So today, we're launching a new experiment of the Google Play console that will generate custom store listings for different types of users. You will ultimately have control of what you submit, but Google Play is there to help you be more creative. So from start to finish, develop to publish, we're deploying AI to help you move faster and to be more creative. Back to you, Matthew.
Thanks, Jamal. That was awesome. Now, let's dive into our multi-device world. As people add more connected devices to their lives, they want their apps to work across them and to adapt to each form factor's unique abilities. Let's take a look at how a developer, Peloton, responded to their users' needs and is delivering an immersive multi-device experience.
Scene 101, take one.
The Peloton app enables members to work out at their convenience.
You can literally work out anywhere. Doesn't matter if you're on vacation, if you're at home. At Peloton, we want to meet members to where they are and on the devices they own. We heard consistent feedback from our members about wanting a Wear OS app.
Our members wanted to be able to use their watches to work out with Peloton. We took our learnings from the original bike built on AOSP to build a great mobile app across many different form factors.
We built a completely new experience so that users have even more options. They can now track their heart rate in real time on their wrist, on the phone, and on our connected fitness devices.
After building the Wear OS app, we wanted to improve the Peloton app in the Android ecosystem. Great tablets like the ones from Samsung, Pixel, and Lenovo are a big reason why we're continuing to invest in large screens. With the Android SDK and Jetpack libraries, it's really easy to create a flexible UI to adapt to the different screen sizes. We use the Jetpack window manager to support foldable specific use cases, like tabletop mode in our video player. Now we're positioned to be even more forward-thinking by investing in exciting new form factors.
Heart rate monitor usage in our app is correlated with higher engagement, better workout experience, and more workouts a month.
Soham, can you stop for a second?
Since launch,
Yeah, just a small announcement that please listen to this carefully, this video, and we'll have a quiz after this, and it is totally based on this video you are watching right now. So do pay attention to it. Okay? Yeah, you can continue, Soham.
we've seen a bump in total workouts taken on the Android platform. We're very confident that Wear OS was a considerable driver.
In the Android ecosystem, there's so many different devices with varying capabilities, like phones, watches, tablets, and TVs. At the end of the day, we want the Peloton app to be awesome wherever our members use it.
It's incredible seeing an investment like that pay off. We're seeing that happen not just for Peloton, but for all of you who are working in this multi-device space. We're seeing a robust market continue to grow for large screen devices. Tablets, foldables, and flippables provide a huge opportunity to reach premium consumers. Our hardware partners are all in with flippable and foldable devices from Samsung, Motorola, and Oppo. Google is all in. Earlier, you saw the Pixel Fold and Pixel Tablet. We're optimizing the Android OS for large screens, and we're tuning over 50 of Google's own apps to look great on these devices. App developers are all in and getting rewarding results. Apps like Concepts and Unext are seeing dramatically more installs and more engagement on tablets and Chromebooks. WhatsApp, eBay, and Canva are also giving users richer experiences on these screens, and as a result are seeing their Play Store ratings increase. If you're excited about enhancing your app for large screens, here's how you can get started. First, start with Jetpack Window Manager and Windows size classes and create layouts that take advantage of the large screen. Version 1.1, available now, has activity embedding, the fastest way for multi-activity apps to provide great large screen layouts. Next, leverage posture detection for foldables and flippables with Jetpack Window Manager and poses in the device emulator in Android Studio, like Google Meet did here. Third, grow your installs on Google Play. To help users discover your optimized apps, we're featuring high-quality apps more prominently in the Play Store and showcasing those with device-specific screenshots. Finally, test out your experiences. We're adding Pixel Fold and Pixel Tablet configurations to the Android Studio emulator. And I'm excited to share we're announcing physical device streaming for these Google devices in Android Studio. This lets you see how your app runs on Google-hosted Pixel Fold and Pixel Tablet devices right from your IDE. You can sign up to join the waitlist today. Now, let's talk about the screen on your wrist. Wear OS active devices have grown 5x since Wear OS 3 launched, and it's the fastest growing smartwatch platform. Now is a great time to jump on Wear OS, and as developers, here are the two big updates you should take advantage of. First, watch faces. They're a beautiful way to engage with your users, and with Wear OS 4, it's easier to create customizable and power-efficient ones. We're making that possible by introducing a new watch face format developed in partnership with Samsung. This is a new declarative XML format, meaning there'll be no code in your watch face APK. This will make it easier to bring your great watch face ideas to market. And second, we're releasing new APIs to bring rich animations to tiles, one of the fastest ways to get things done or launch an app on Wear OS. We're launching the first developer preview of Wear OS 4 today with an updated emulator image featuring new Bluetooth connectivity to other devices. But it's not enough to just make these form factors easier to build for. The tools and services you use should be purpose-built to take advantage of these new form factors from the start. We've done just that, and we call it modern Android development. We're building our tools and APIs with the future of the platform in mind. To show you what I mean, I'd like to invite my colleague, Florina, to the stage.
We know your to-do list is long and your time is precious. We want to help you do more faster. Modern Android development gives you the APIs, tools, and guidance to speed up your flow and help you write safer, better code so you can focus on building
Okay,
amazing...
so stop it. Like,
We aim to
Okay, so guys, now it's the time for the quiz. So Shweta, you can begin with the quiz.
Yeah, are you excited? Wait a second, I'll share the screen. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes, it is
Okay,
visible.
so first I'll tell you the rules for the quiz. So all of you, I'll share a question on the screen, and what you have to do is you have to, I'll give you options and you have 30 seconds. You can choose the right option and type it in this on the chat box, and our team members will keep a note of who is writing first or top 5 and all. So just focus on the question, and keep in mind that you have 30 seconds to answer your question. Okay, so should we start with the first question? That's an easy one. I hope you know the answer. Come on, guys, time is running up. Okay, I can see different answers. Okay, 3, 2, 1, stop. Time for the result. And the answer is, what happened? Isn't it showing? Yeah, the answer is B. So whoever said the right answer, congratulations. Now let's move to the second question. Yeah, your time starts now. Come on, guys, hurry up. Yeah, you all were actually listening to it carefully. That's good to hear. Come on, rest of the people, what are you doing? Okay, time's up. Let's see the answer. Yeah, that was an easy one. Okay, should we move forward? Yeah. Next question for you is, yeah, let's start answering it. What happened? Last 5 seconds. Okay, let's see the answer here. That was an easy one. Okay, next might be difficult. Let's see. Yeah, these foldable phones are really on hype these days. Do you know the answer? Wow, people are really attentive this time. I'm really glad to have so many answers. Okay, last 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see the answer then. Yeah, it was D. Good those who got the right answer. Let's see the next question. What is it? Yeah, right. There are so many people in the meeting. Just try to guess something. Yeah, 10 seconds remaining. Now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see the answer then. Oh, it was actually B. Yeah, there are some people who gave the right answer. Let's see the next question then. Are you familiar with this language? Wow. Okay, then let's see the answer. I know most of you guessed it right. Yeah, actually, congratulations to everyone who guessed it right. Okay, this might be difficult because that part of video was not there, but you can try answering this. Okay, people do know about this code as well. That's great to hear. Actually, it was new for me as well, but it's great to hear that people do know this. Yeah, last 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time to reveal the answer. Let's see. Oh, it was A. Good one. Many people answered it right. So I think that we will have a last question now. Yeah. This one might be difficult. If you are searching it online, then let's see your searching skills. Wow, Ravi Raj on fire. You actually know the answer. That's great to hear. Oh no, time is up. I guess only one could answer it. And let's see if he is right. Oh, he is actually right. So let's stop the quiz till here only. We have a special guest speaker who is going to guide you with something amazing. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a guest speaker now. So over to you, Bhageshri, Vaishnavi, sorry.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So hello everyone. This is Vaishnavi Barge. So like we are here for attending the IO, Google IO, but we have a one special guest for you all, and he is nothing other but Shreyash Patil, who is our alumni from DYPCOE. Shreyas is a Google developer expert for Android, and he is also working as senior developer, Android developer at Paytm. Along with it, he loves building apps using libraries, APIs that will help everyone, like apps which will solve the real world problems. He also spends a lot of his development time in contributing the open source projects, and most of these projects are initiated by himself. Along with it, he also helps to the community by writing tech blogs, articles, and he even conduct tech talks related to the latest technologies coming up in the Android. So along with this all, when he doesn't code, he loves music. So when you will not find him coding, he will be like singing the songs, beautiful songs for you. So instead of me telling more about him, let's listen from him, like what else he have to share with us all. So over to you, Shreyas.
Yeah, thanks Vaishnavi for such warm welcome. Uh, can you grant me access for sharing my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Can you make me presenter?
Hello, now is it like, can you share the screen? I made you a presenter.
Yeah, now I can share. Let me know
Okay.
once you able to see my slideshow basically.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay, so yeah, hi all, and thank you for inviting me here. And it's my honor to be here at my college basically, and to share my experience with my super juniors and helping them. So yeah, as you can see, our today's topic is like kickstarting career as an Android developer. But let's say if you are not from Android background and you are interested in something else, then also like it will be useful for you. I can assure you that, and I will give you examples for relevant domains as well. But before starting session, let me introduce who am I. So as Vaishnavi already introduced me, so that's all about me. And I write like my learnings on blog.shreyaspattil.dev. So you will find like many blogs of mine already published there. So without talking much about me, I will just proceed. So let's start with beginning. So so let's say you decided to be a developer, right? So in this session, we will basically see like what exactly makes you a good developer, since you are now students, right? And so what exactly you should follow to be a good developer, so that you can plan your development journey right now. So very first step, as you might be also knowing, is learn programming languages. So pick any programming language of your interest. Let's say if you are an Android developer, then you will have to learn Java, Kotlin programming languages, and some other programming languages as well. Let's say if you pick React, then you will have to learn JavaScript. If you choose Flutter, then you will have to learn Dart programming language. Let's say you are a data science guy, then you will have to learn Python and all programming languages. Then if you are a web developer, you'll have to learn JavaScript, HTML, CSS, then React, Vue, Angular, etc. So to learn any kind of framework, you will need to learn programming languages and all fundamentals of it. And for Android, Kotlin is actually an official development programming language. So if you want to be an Android developer in future or aspirant Android developer, you should go with Java and Kotlin basically. So that's the very first step behind every programming language. Learn all syntax of it. Knowing everything is not essential, but at least knowing basics of programming language is always helpful. You should know syntax. You should know features of each programming language, and like what exactly is useful and not. Like what are features of programming language. For example, Java and Kotlin both are used for programming language, but why to use Kotlin? What are the features of Java and what exactly Kotlin is. So knowing that thing will be beneficial for you guys. Then next thing is focus on concept. So you might have learned this, or you will learn this eventually in your syllabus as well, like object oriented programming. So this some of the concepts which you are taught in engineering are really helpful, and really helpful when you actually work as a software engineer. Software engineering concepts and methodologies. For example, you will have a subject called software engineering, in which you will learn models, software engineering models like a waterfall model, XYZ model, right? I think in third year or fourth year. So this will be very helpful for you to, and this is actually used in industry. Then always be good in core concepts and fundamentals. So what exactly core concepts? I mean, every programming language and basically every software engineering has a core concept, like how exactly computer works when you write code, how exactly is a code compiled and how exactly it is executed. Let's say in mobile development, how exactly your device processes information and all. So that core and fundamentals you should know. And you should definitely know what is version control system. Like I personally uh, came to know about it very late when I was in engineering, but like in the last year of engineering, I guess. But yeah, like you can start it right now. There are a lot of advantages of Git. I will tell you later as well. And you should learn how to use GitHub for reading code or contributing code. So that's all. These are the core concepts and which you should focus on. Then in order to be a good software engineer, you will need to be good in these subject areas. For example, you should know operating system will be part of your syllabus, and you should know it. Operating system will be helpful if you are going to be in a web development or Android development, since Android is an operating system, right? So you should know how exactly operating system works. And networking, Networking is a core concept actually, like it is useful for everything, whether you are web developer, your data science or Android or basically anything, or also can be helpful if you're, let's say, security researcher, you want to be a hacker or something like that. So networking is a also essential thing. Then database, having knowledge of database like SQLite or NoSQL databases, big databases and all. So database concept will be helpful for you because actually each and every application uses database like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, anything. So database is kind of thing. Then basics of data structures and algorithm is essential. I'm not saying like deep level is important, but basics level of data structure and algorithm is required for each and every domain. Then you should have good problem solving skills. So when I say problem solving, it doesn't mean that I'm pointing it to hacker rank or hacker rank, but let's say given you a problem, you should be able to solve that problem with your programming skills or something like that. Let's say if I say you have to build XYZ application, you should be able to build that. So that exactly is a problem solving skill. Then testing is another fundamental. Testing means in testing you should be able to test your application with programmatically as well. So it can be unit testing, integration testing, which will be also taught in your syllabus. And it is also a kind of related to programming, where you have to write programming, test in programming to validate your logic basically. So yeah, be good in these subject areas. And these are some coding practices, like you should write clean code. Clean code means what? You should write a code in such a way that other person should be able to understand that code. For example, let's say you write a piece of code and let's say you show it to your friend, and let's say friend is saying he's not able to understand your code, then it means you have written a bad code. It is not understandable to anyone. And so you should write a code in such a way that when you show it to someone, they will, even if they are not familiar with that programming language, they will be able to get flow, like what exactly is happening in that piece of code. You should be able to refactor your code. Refactoring means basically cleaning up code and like moving piece of code for a modularity purpose. You should know architecture patterns. This will be also part of your syllabus, like you should know when to use builder pattern, when to use factory pattern. So these are basically fundamentals of coding practices basically. Then you should know how to optimize your code. For example, for executing some part of business, if your application is taking too much time, you should optimize your logic basically, like performant logic basically. You might have heard about O of n, O of log n, O of 1, right? So that's all optimization. And testing again. So testing is also a coding practice where you write a program to validate your logic basically. So that's all about testing. And after all this, you should choose a particular framework you want to go ahead with. Let's say this is particular to Android. Let's say you want to be a native Android developer. You can choose a native framework, native Android SDK, and learn Kotlin or Java programming language, as I earlier said. Let's say you want to learn a cross-platform development, then you can choose Flutter or React Native. So Flutter and React Native allows you to write a cross-platform application. For example, in single source code, you'll be able to generate Android apps and iOS apps, both. But in native Android, you'll be only able to build only Android app at a time, and you will have to write a separate code, Swift code for iOS apps. So once you learn all the fundamentals and cores of programming languages, you can choose a framework and learn. So, okay, this journey is still okay, right? But what to do next? So after learning all these things, like let's discuss path, like how exactly you should choose these things. So there are some recommended steps. Prefer developing a project over earning certificate. So nowadays this is a norm, like students actually run behind earning certificate, like I did this certification, I did that certification. But certifications will never be actually helpful for you, because certification is just a piece of paper. Like I'm not saying all the certifications are not good, but some certifications are really good. But earning certification should not be your aim basically. You should try to learn from official documentation and blogs actually. So what exactly helpful is, like you will always get latest knowledge by referring to official documentation site blogs, because what happens when you refer to videos and tutorials, there are chances that you will get outdated knowledge, because our field is very vast and a lot of things coming every day, lot of old things going, like dying every day. So you should know what is latest and what is gonna be useful in future. So it is always recommended that you always refer to official docs. Don't give too much priority to the courses and earning certificates, as I already said. And you should be good Google searcher. You should be able to search on Google, on Stack Overflow to get your solutions. So if you're not aware about Stack Overflow, then you can start searching about it after this session, and you will know it's very powerful tool for every software engineer. Like, and this is a quote, like, one tiny good and documented project is always better than stack of certificates or course completions. It means you should prefer doing projects on your own with your friends or with your group or alone, let's say, is always better than stack of certificates. Let's say how many certificates you want, but one good project will be always better than it. And I personally, I can say, like, I never did any certification so far or any courses. Okay, so now how to learn this thing. So here is a plan of action. So the thing I would recommend is learn while doing. So what exactly means learn while doing? So learn while doing means you have to, okay, let's say you decided to learn Android development or web development or anything, okay, any domain. Choose a project, like get some idea, like what exactly you want to build. Okay, any idea, like it may be any simple idea which already might exist, or let's say you have an innovative idea. Just pick that idea which can solve some local issue. Doesn't matter it is a real application or not. You can just make a toy project with it as well. So just pick that idea, and while implementing that idea, you should learn framework or learn, basically features of programming language. For example, let's say you pick a to do, you have to build a to do application. What is to do app? It will have a list of to do items, and you can just basically add new to do items in it by typing. So what are required for this to do item? So you will have to learn how to show data in list. So okay, so you will learn that while exactly implementing your to do app. Then you will have to interact with keyboard. Okay, how you will do it? You will also learn that while implementing it. So this way, what happens? Learning becomes 2x, and whatever you do while uh, whatever you learn while doing, you will never forget it, basically, because you have practically tried it. And this is exactly like contrast to watching tutorials and videos, because what happens, you just stay watching them and you basically never try it practically. You forget concepts what you watch. So always learn while doing. So directly pick any idea and try to implement it in a project. So since you are in a college right now, you can like make a group of friends and basically pick any project, or you can ask your faculties, like if there is any app which we can build that can solve your problems of teachers and students. Basically you can then pick that idea and learn the technology by developing while developing that applications. So let's say when I was in college, I built application for my department. Basically, it was a teacher guardian application that can track interaction between faculty, teacher guardians, and basically parents of students. So that app was there when I was in engineering. Don't think about negatives while learning, because you will learn eventually. So this is generally happens to every students, right? Like whenever you start something, negative thoughts starts coming. So that should not actually disturb you. Just ignore it, because you will learn everything eventually. And remember one thing, like you will not learn unless you don't make any mistakes. So yeah, it is eventually you will make mistakes while learning. You will make a lot of mistakes, and I would say make a lot of mistakes, because the number of mistakes you will do, the number of times you will learn better. Because I personally remember the things where I did mistakes most of the time, and that's the best thing. Like once you do mistake, you will actually never repeat it. So it's better to do mistakes in the student phase. And finally, if it is possible, publish your app, so that your project, your efforts will be always helpful. So I can tell you my story. So my methodology of learning tech is same as I said. So let's say when I started Android development, I wanted to learn Kotlin programming language, and so I was not aware about Kotlin. So I said, okay, I decided, okay, let's make an app. At the time I created a application called PU Alerts, which is a Android app for Pune University students. So what happens exactly? You basically, what a results are announced or any new notification is published, you basically get your info from faculties or like any friends, right? So our SPPU site is not as good as basically you cannot basically rely on site for info. So I build application that can announce any new announcements to students directly from notification. Let's say result is announced, you will get on application. So while building that application, I learned the fundamentals of Kotlin. It is a thing of 2019 actually, 19 or 18 something. So I built that app, and finally I learned Kotlin programming language, and I built a product basically, which was PO alerts, and it was actually good outcome. And I published that app on Play Store, and at that time it got a lot of good traction actually. Like a lot of users downloaded, installed it, and a lot of students benefited from it. So this way, like I learned technology, and I can also help all the others. Like that app become product actually. So that's all. And for learning, build a very simple and sample project. Let's say if you don't want to create a toy, basically big app, and always document your code so that whenever let's say in future you watch look at your code, you should get like what exactly you did and for what purpose you did something. Try to regularly maintain your project. You should keep fixing bugs and add new features to your app. So if possible, make it open source, and making your code open source makes you confident. So open source means what? So if you're not aware about open source is a terminology where you can like publicly make your source code available. So you can put your code on GitHub, and others can basically take a look at your code. And how can it makes you confident? So that whenever you appear for interview, you can say like, I have built this kind of project, and you can take a look at my source code. It is hosted here on GitHub. Something like you can give him or her URL. So he or she can take a look at your code and basically judge you by that code, and basically that boosts your confidence, and it gives that person also confident that okay, you are able to code something. So that's also boost your chances of getting selected into basically into your interview or company, any company you're interviewing for. So do that, like if possible. And as I said again, while learning also try to refer official docs rather than videos and tutorials, because you will learn a lot while doing that. And the very best practice to be successful in software engineering is read others code. It is very good practice. Like in on GitHub there is a lot of code. So in your day-to-day life, let's say you are a web developer, Android or any kind of developer, then most of the famous frameworks are already available open source on GitHub. Let's say you are a web developer, then React Native or React or Vue.js, AngularJS are open source. You can read their source code, like how these frameworks are built. Let's say you are a data scientist or related to AIML, you can see PyTorch or TensorFlow are open source on GitHub, and you can see how their code is, how basically their engineers coded it. If you are an Android developer, then Android OS or Flutter itself are open source. Then some of the good applications like Telegram. Telegram is open source on GitHub. You can contribute to it. You can see how screenshots of Telegram are developed. Then Signal app. Sometime back, like when WhatsApp was like people were leaving WhatsApp, then Signal app came into existence, right? Because of Elon Musk tweet and all. So Signal is also open source. So you can learn Signals. Backend is also open source. Signals Android app is also open source. So you can basically read their source code and how they did it. You can read best practices, like how their developers achieved it, so that reading their code will help you in learning better. So you will know, okay, this part of code, so this part of product is coded like that. So we can also know. So, and most of the libraries which you use for any kind of development are open source. You can see like how which design pattern they use for what purpose, and how something feature is implemented, and how it is designed and all. So you will get this idea once you start reading others code. So I also so when I was in my student phase, I contributed to a lot of open source projects, and I created my own open source project. And while doing that, I learned most of the time by reading others code only. So yeah, this is I'm saying from my personal experience. It is a really good thing. And now stay up to date with knowledge, and this all I guess, right? Because as I earlier said, this tech thing is updating every day. So old things going, new things coming. But it is not too much necessary to stay up to date because obviously, like we are humans, we cannot know everything. So it is okay to know things, but not tried practically. But at least having knowledge like what is going around the world, it is necessary. So you should at least know what is going on, even if it is not you have not tried, it is okay. So in short, the overall process is like you learn things, you implement them, you improve them, and cycle goes on. Like it is an endless process basically. So even I can say I'm still learning a lot of things. Like I haven't even learned so many things. I can still feel that. So I still learn a lot of things every day. I try to implement them. I try to improve myself, and basically the cycle goes on. And this will be same for you guys also. In whatever domain you go, this cycle will be always there. So just take a look at it. And then it will be good to have internship. Let's say now you are feeling confident that you can basically build apps or bring build whatever with your skills. You can then do internships, you can take freelance projects, you can basically earn by client projects. Then participate in some open source competitions like Hacktoberfest, GSOC, and I know like GDSC also has annually something like competitions where you students basically build apps, and I guess it is a international level competition, right? Or India wise something like GDC has it. So you should take parts in such competition. Hackathons, you can say, like you might have heard about Smart India Hackathon, where you have to build prototype to solve common problems or issues for our country. And I would say it really boosts your confidence. So these are all things are for boosting your confidence in the technology. So I personally was part of Smart India Hackathon 18 and 17, and also in DYPCOE it was 2020, I guess. We were part of hackathon, and where we build application to solve problems of government and basically ministries of India. So what it teaches us to build applications in very less time. Basically, quick and dirty prototype in very short time. So it is a time for teamwork basically. So I would say make team of your friends, your like-minded friends, and start working on these things. And most important to know is no one is perfect, right? And every field is very vast. It is not possible to always stay up to date with everything. Let's say in Android development, okay, or web development, or in data science, there are various things in each domain. Let's say I don't know everything in Android development, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say I work in Paytm right now, so I might be knowing about fintech right now, like how to build banking system, wallet system, and basically payment systems. uh, let's say I don't know right now how OTT works. Let's say how Netflix work, how Geo Cinema, IPL streaming, and all. I won't be able to know this unless I join these companies, right? Because I would be able to implement streaming services, but not as they are doing it. Like innovation, Hotstar and Geo Cinema is doing. I won't be able to see unless I join that company and basically see how they are handling this scale at their level. So there is always scope, and it is not possible always. Let's say how Zomato and Swiggy track locations of basically drivers and all, like Ola, Ubers, and so we should accept that, and we should only learn some things when we actually need it. For example, now I don't need basically to see how exactly Wi-Fi connectivity or Bluetooth connectivity works, because I am working in a payment app and I don't need to worry about it. But whenever I need it, I should be able to grasp it or learn it. So you should be learnable, fast learnable in that way. Let's say in Paytm, someday I get a use case that I have to work with Bluetooth technology, like Bluetooth payments or something like that. Then I should be able to grasp that quickly. So yeah, it is not necessary that you have to learn everything, but you should be quick learner as well, and you should be able to learn things when you need it. Then fear of missing out is common, and it shouldn't be a problem. Fear of missing out means what? It is basically a feeling where you start feeling like you are missing somewhere, like your friends are doing good and but you are not. So this kind of feeling you should not there should not be problem due to this feeling. And if that feeling is coming, you should be able to handle that imposter syndrome basically. You should be get out of that fear basically. And that's very important to know, because I have seen a lot of students actually fall for it. So that's natural. Okay, you should overcome that. And here are some resume tips, because so a lot of folks actually make mistakes while making resumes, and resume is something like it is a first impression, and we say, right, first impression is a last impression. So when you submit your or resume to any organization, then 50% of work, 50% of judgment is given on your resume. Like just I said, first impression is last impression. So your resume should be attractive and good. Make it of at least at max 2 pages, or I would say 1 page only. And in your resume, add links to your portfolio site, GitHub, LinkedIn, your all social handles. Your skills are more important. What projects you did are more important. If you are did projects and if they are open source, then add links to your GitHub repository, or let's say you have published on Play Store, you can give that link, or any other document. Let's say you have written a public research paper on it, you can add it. Add your achievements, what you did, and give the space to your skills, projects, achievements more. And basically no one cares whether you're married, single, or in relationship, and what is your age, basically what is your birth date. That's not important. So you can avoid such information in your resume and give space to your skills, projects, achievements basically. And these are nonsense things basically, so you can just omit it from your resume. And now after all this, let's discuss how you can learn with the community, because now you know the basics of learning. Now you know uh, how you should learn things. Now how you should learn with community. So one thing you should understand, that sharing is caring. So how exactly do that? So let's say you are in a trouble. Okay, you are working on something, and if you stuck at some point, don't hesitate to ask questions, right? I have seen this, like students sometime just hesitate to ask question, like what that person will think about me, like how teacher will think of me. Let's say if I ask my doubts, that's not issue, right? As we already see, like no one is perfect, and no one know everything, since this field is very vast. Like even I can ask questions, and so someone else can give me answers. So that's very natural. Don't hesitate to ask questions if you are stuck with problem. And let's say if you know something, try to comfortable people around you, so that they can ask you a question. Like always help others if you can. Let's say you know something, you should share your knowledge with others. This way make group of people and share your learning, for example your friends, so that you can regularly share your knowledge of domain. Let's say when I was in college, we had a group of friends. We were of different domains. Let's say I was an Android developer, someone in my group was backend developer, then front-end web developer basically. So we regularly shared our knowledge, and basically this helps to know what exactly is going on in other domain as well. So even if I'm an Android developer, it doesn't mean that I don't know what is going in data science field, web development and all. I still know how exactly the work is occurring for other domains as well. And this really helps. Once you be in such a group, right, your learning will become 2x basically, because I have seen in community or in a group of people, you learn 2x. Just like GDSC is a student club, right, and you basically come together for an event and you work together basically. So this way you learn a lot of things. You learn management skills, you learn technical things. So these things, as I said, be part of local communities of your interest. For example, GDSC, I already mentioned. Then there is a group called Google Developer Group, GDG. GDG Pune has its own group. It is for professional networking. So you should start attending such events, interact with speakers, ask them a questions, and you will learn 2x. So when I was in college, I started going this group GDG, and I learned a lot by this. And basically, at that time I had a stage fear. I was not even able to speak like as I am talking today. So I learned all these things, and I overcome all these issues by attending these communities and all. So let's say, and you should also be part of your domain specific group. For example, for Kotlin, I have listed here Kotlin user groups. But let's say you are a web developer, you should visit JSConf. Like JSConf is a good India level indelible thing. Let's say if you are a data science or AI/ML enthusiast, you should learn TensorFlow user group or any other open AI/ML related things. You should attend, events like the, grand events of domains. Let's say DroidCon and Android Summit is like top level Android conferences. Then DevFest, you might have heard about, like every year DevFest are organized by Google developer groups. You should host events just like you are hosting events at GDSC, right? Be host events, be volunteer at events. You will learn a lot while doing this. Join Slack communities of such, communities if possible, if available. And how you can contribute. Let's say you are comfortable now, and you want to share your knowledge. How can you share your knowledge? So you should speak at events, just like I'm speaking at here. I'm sharing my knowledge. You should speak at your events. Let's say you don't like speaking, you can write your any blogs, articles, and all, and make it open source. Let's say you are someone who want to start YouTube channel. You can create a video content as well. You can write your own tutorials, upload it on YouTube. You can ask questions or answer questions on Stack Overflow. That's also a contribution. And Stack Overflow also helps a lot. Let's say if you are looking for opportunities. So this is how you can contribute to community. And now how to boost your reach. Okay, now you are done, and how to basically boost your reach. So make your social presence, build your own portfolio and showcase your skills and work. Basically, what you have done, what skills you know, what exactly you can do. Be active on social media, Twitter, LinkedIn. Follow good people on social media. For example, follow people of your same interest, domain. Where, let's say, if they are sharing regular knowledge, just follow such people. So that what happens exactly by this, like you know what exactly is trending or going on around the world. Let's say I'm an Android developer, and let's say I follow fellow Android developers. So with the help of them, I know, okay, these things are going in Android development, and like I have my opinion then. Okay, is it good or is it bad? So these things help when you be on active on social media. Share your big small achievements there. Let's say you did some project, just uh, make a post on Twitter or LinkedIn, so that people can also know you did something. So do share your work, and basically don't hesitate to promote your work. You have to be your own what you can say salesperson. So don't hesitate to promote your own work. You are doing a good work, right? Like not not you should not be ashamed of your own work. So I have seen like most of the people basically hesitate to share their own work. So that should not be issue. Like you should not be hesitant to promote your work. So that's how you can build social presence over there. So once you be active, you start sharing your posts, your reach basically improves on LinkedIn, and also you basically create a good circle of connections on LinkedIn, and it basically gives you a better chance for your future opportunities. So I can tell you my story. So once in 2020, like COVID was going on, and I was in a third year of engineering. I created some open source project, and that project was really good. And when I put it on LinkedIn, like I got a lot of opportunities at that time, and my first internship was part of that only. So just because of that LinkedIn post, I got my first internship, I can say. And after all this, after my further projects, I got opportunities at like Paytm Insider and Paytm. So I can definitely say like social media presence really makes a sense. So just like you people might be using Tinder or Bumble, you try to basically be attractive there, right? You upload good photos, good bio, so that you can attract more people around you. So just like in tech world, social presence is important. You should be able to attract talent acquisitions department, and basically they will reach you, and you will be succeed at your career basically. And build a portfolio website. As I said, you can add your introduction, experience, education, skills, project, and what exactly work you did. For example, I have my own portfolio website called shreyaspatil.dev, where I can introduce myself, and basically I can showcase my skills, like what exactly I know and what exactly I can do. I have my listed my projects so far I did. So this basically gives you confident, and other also confident that this is like your mini resume. In one page resume you cannot do everything, right? But in your website there is no limitation. You can list as you want. It is actually your website. So uh, you can put whatever you want in your website. So this actually is really helpful in your career. And as I said, use GitHub. In last point, we'll again explain. So use GitHub to showcase your work. Let's say you want to, you have built a project in your team, just use GitHub. So nowadays what happens, like let's say students are building projects, you keep copies of your backups of your projects in pen drive, right? Like backup 1, backup 2, backup 3. So this it basically creates multiple copies of your only one project. And you can use GitHub for such collaboration platforms, so that you can, let's say if you are a group of 4 or 5 people, use GitHub to host your project, add your 3 or 4 members to that, so that you can collaboratively work on each project. And GitHub is really helpful thing, like all applications or all organizations you are seeing in industry, not only app developers, like anything you can see, all use GitHub or GitHub basically to host their projects. Like at Paytm, we also use Git for hosting projects, and basically all apps use it. Like there is nothing such, no single app right now which doesn't use Git basically. So you can use GitHub to showcase your projects as well. Let's say you have now got confidence, you can build your own tools which are helpful for other developers. For example, if you are a web developer, you might be know about NPM, right? In NPM, you can install a lot of packages. So there are a lot of helpful packages. You can build such any of your package of your own. Let's say if you're an Android developer or Flutter developer, you can build your own packages or library or APIs basically, so that others can use. Let's say you are a data science or MLAI guy, you can basically create your own models, own techniques, make open source. You can contribute to other projects as well. Let's say there are a lot of good projects, open source projects there. As I said, Telegram, Signal, and all. You can contribute to such projects. You can fix their bugs. You can fix their issues. You can file bug. Let's say if you don't want to code, you can just file bugs, and that's also a contribution. You can add new features to their platform basically. And how can you showcase work on GitHub? Just write clean and readable code. As I earlier said, like someone else should be able to read your code. So when you're putting code on GitHub, just make sure these 4 things, like you are writing a clean and readable code, you are adding a documentation, you are adding a main readme file. Readme file is basically a helpful guide in which you can tell someone else that how can you set up your project basically on someone else's system. Add proper license and guidelines. You can learn this in Git basically, what exactly license, because license is altogether a vast thing in Git. So you can just research about it. Let's say if you are interested in open source. As I said, readme, right? This third point was add main documentation. So you can add such documentation in your readme file. Let's say this was a sample app which I did earlier in my career. It was a simple food blog application. Okay, simple and sample food blog. It is not a real application. It is just a sample application that I created for demonstrating best practices of Android development. And what actually attracts people is when you add this such kind of documentation to your project, so that people actually look at your code, then how exactly you have built. So you should add. Then you should pin important projects on GitHub. Let's say you might have a lot of projects on GitHub, but GitHub allows you to showcase your top 6 projects. So you should pin those 6 projects, so that whenever someone visits your GitHub profile, they will have this 6 on top. So you should pin important projects. Then use productivity tools. So what is thing? Let's say you are doing a final year project or something, or any project. You should use project management tools. Project management tools for, let's say, okay, you have to build, let's say, XYZ application. You basically list all the features of that application, and you basically list what exactly you have to do in that application. So for tracking this, we student basically don't track it. We just develop it, right? But you can use tools like Trello, you track Jira for doing this. So all industry level people or all industry basically uses such tools for managing work, basically tracking work basically. So because with that you will never forget what we have to do, and it is helpful for if you are working in a team. So let's say I use this tool for my own final year project. Like we had a group of 4 people, including me. So we use this and we created this dashboard for our own, that we can say like, okay, we have to do this thing, we have to do this thing, we have to And basically we categorize what is very high priority, what is high priority, what is low priority. You can see that red, pink, green color, right? So that is basically color of priority, so that you can sort out your priorities of your project, and basically track what exactly you have to do, and you can track your to-do items basically of your project. So this project management tools really help. And let's talk about mobile development. So what exactly is mobile development is, so basically you are a part of team. You have to make decisions by mutually agreeing with each other. So, once you get out of college and once you join organization, it is not like you have to code all the time. Your most of the time goes in discussions. You basically discuss with your team, because teamwork is most important in organization. You have to gather requirements from product managers or designers, because let's you are building a user facing application, right? Then you have to discuss how exactly you want to bring the features to user, because end user is something who will be interacting with your app. So all you have to do with discussions. Then you have to build that application, and while building that application you have to be a team player. Like whatever you do or whatever your team do, you will be also responsible for that. So collaborate with development and testing of a product. Let's say you build a product, you should be also testing that whether it is working properly or not. You should be able to build a good quality product with quality UI UX, because obviously end user is gonna play with your app. So there should not be thing like end user should feel some bad about it. Otherwise you will see bad ratings on Google Play Store, right? You also might be rating some app as a low quality if you don't like it, right? So that also matters. Then you deploy your app to, let's say, Play Store, App Store, or website, something. So that's all, and you are responsible for your task. For example, in future some bug occurs, or app crashes, and it is occurred due to you, then you will be responsible for that. You will have to take care, you will have to give reasons, or basically have to explain to your higher management people that why exactly it failed. And you will have to maintain your app in the long run, right? Like you can see like every app is maintained, like new features come, new, like you fix bugs and all. So this is a short life of a mobile app developer, I can say. Now it's come to end, and I will share resources. So these are some free resources which can be helpful for your project. So since you are a student, you can leverage GitHub Student Developer Pack. So this pack gives you a lot of benefits. Yeah. So a lot of paid things are out there, which GitHub offers for free for students. Like you can get your free domain. Let's say I have my own domain, shreyaspatil.dev. You can get your own such domain for free. You can use a lot. So GitHub actually provides a lot of tools that are paid for and for free for developers basically. So you can leverage such in your final projects or in your any projects. You can use Firebase for free database and all, free remote config, free notifications, free, like Firebase is actually free for some quota. So if you are planning for some hackathon or any projects, you can leverage Firebase. Then Heroku, then DigitalOcean, and you can also leverage AWS or GCP free tier, something like that. And for Android specific, if you have to learn something, these are some official resources which you can refer to learn. So these are YouTube channel, Kotlin and all. Apart from that, Android also has a GitHub repositories. You can refer to their official samples. So you can learn how basically to build Android apps and all. Then there are some courses on Udacity, which are actually a good like quality courses. If you are a course person, then you should do that. And you can refer to some unofficial resources like Mindocs, Pro Android Dev, blogs, and GitHub repo. There are a lot actually. You can search on Google, or you can connect with me if you want further help. So these are like Google Code Labs. You can also refer to Google Code Labs, where they teach you app development step by step with proper screenshots and proper coding with proper steps. So that's all. And if you need any help, you can connect with me on my official site. Like you will get a lot of contacts. You can connect with me on Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, and you can read my blogs here. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask me. You can, if you are not comfortable asking by unmuting, you can ask by scanning this QR code, or just going to slide.com and put your code DYPCOE, or you can just unmute your mic and ask me questions as well.
Okay, thank you for the awesome session. I mean, you like almost covered everything. Like that was really great. And we do have some questions in the chat box.
Chat
So
box,
the
okay.
first question comes from Satyam. He's asking, how did you apply for Paytm and what is your journey?
Okay, so yeah, actually I never applied at Paytm. I was doing internship at like Scale Technologies Private Limited. There was a company, and while doing that, I was doing a lot of open source projects. And after that open source projects, I actually got a call from HR at Paytm, and they basically like asked me whether I'm interested in joining Paytm or not. So basically, as I said in earlier slides, open source projects and also basically those helped me to land a job at Paytm.
Okay, that's great. So now the next question is from Amit. He's asking, can we get .dev domain for free?
Yes. So as I said, use GitHub Student Developer Pack. Apply for it. So for GitHub Student Pack, you will need to give a proof that you are a student. You can upload your ID card, college ID card, which is signed by a principal or your HOD anywhere. You can after your application gets approved, you will get a lot of free resources at Student Developer Pack, and you will also get a like .com domain, .com domain or .dev domain just for 1 year. Okay. So for the first year, you will get it for free. Otherwise, you will have to pay charges, which will be around like 1,500 per year or 1,000 per year. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So
one
yes,
more
I have
question
one
comes
question.
from, yeah.
Should I go
So you
first?
can, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Shreyas bhai, I would like to ask कि what's your driving force of being into tech? Like अगर मैं आज कुछ developers से पूछूं तो is it materialistic things like अगर आज के मतलब हम लोग जेनजी की लैंग्वेज में बोले तो कि व्हाट्स योर ड्राइविंग फोर्स इज इट कि डीमार्ट के पीछे बानेर में ओसी रिसीव्ड फ्लैट खरीदना है आ जाओ वैसा वाला मटेरियलिस्टिक है इज इट द the love for the technology, is it the love for changing lives through technology, what is it?
Yeah, changing lives for technology, lives from technology, because you can see right now like technology is driving everything, right? Like UPI and all. Like when UPI, so जैसे नोटबंदी हुई पहले हमारे देश में, right? Like after all UPI boom came. Now you can see you can order food from Zomato, Swiggy with just technology. So technology is bringing a lot of changes, and now you can see like next generation, like metaverse, right? Like with metaverse, you can do a lot of stuff, good stuff, and basically now Apple recently launched something like VR kit or what I just forgot their name of that product. Yeah, Vision Pro, correct. So that I can say like in future that can bring a lot of revolution. So technology is like for changing lives only. So that's the main driving force. And what gives you satisfaction at the end of the day is like, let's say I'm building a Paytm app. So my satisfaction point is like, okay, whatever I'm writing code, it is reaching to like a lot of like crore users and all. People are using like my code is running on their handset chipsets kind of thing. So that also gives me a satisfaction that I'm doing contribution to the society. So yeah, at the end of the day, it is only solving lives or making life of people simpler by using technology. I hope I answered your question, or if I am.
That's cool. Like we have one question in chat box from Vishal. He's asking the opportunities for a Flutter developer in industry.
Yeah, Flutter development is actually doing really good since some last 2-3 years. There are a lot of good opportunities. Like, so if I have to tell you, GPay, Google Pay is built using Flutter. Then if you are a trader, you can see Zero the Kite application is built using Flutter. So Flutter is getting good days, and in future it will be definitely now also it is a really good. So there are a lot of opportunities. If you just have to grow your build your Flutter skill sets, and you will get an opportunity which you want.
Okay, that's cool. So I have a question to the audience. Like, does anyone have any more questions, or Like you guys can just unmute or just put it in the chat box.
Yeah,
If
and
you
if you're
guys have any more
uncomfortable
questions.
asking questions, you can ask question anonymously on this site. Just go to
Yeah, yeah.
slido.com and enter this code DYPCOE and or just scan this QR and you can ask questions. I would be happy to help.
That's a really cool thing which you have included. I mean, anonymous questioning.
Yeah, like I have seen like students sometimes don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, for the timing, I'll ask you a question. Like, how's the difference building a project on your own self? Like, this comes from a person, from me who hasn't worked in the industry. So we all build projects. How is the difference working in the industry, building projects over there for an
Correct, correct.
organization?
So what happens exactly is कि so जब हम खुद से प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं तो इट इज ओनली अस लाइक वी आर बॉस ऑफ आवर प्रोजेक्ट हम गलतियां करेंगे कुछ भी करेंगे लाइक कोई भी जज नहीं करने को रहेगा लाइक यू विल बी मेकिंग मिस्टेक्स एंड बेसिकली आप अकेले रहोगे कुछ भी डेवलपमेंट करते हो बट इंडस्ट्री में एज आई सेड यू हैव टू बी अ टीम प्लेयर आप जो भी कुछ करोगे तो टीम विल बी वॉचिंग यू दे विल बी गाइडिंग यू विद यू आर डूइंग करेक्ट और नॉट एंड बेसिकली ना सबको साथ में लेके काम करना पड़ता है व्हेन यू वर्क इन इंडस्ट्री एंड आप अपने मर्जी के मालिक नहीं रहते हो बेसिकली लेट्स से यू आर यूजिंग समथिंग लेट्स से you want to use some latest technology and all you will not be permitted to do everything as you want कुछ कुछ बार तुम्हें सामने वाले का सुनना पड़ेगा लाइक यू नो द मोर एक्सपीरियंस पीपल एंड ऑल सो दैट्स बेसिकली डिफरेंस लाइक आपको फुल फ्रीडम नहीं मिलेगा कभी भी बिकॉज देयर माइट बी सम पिटफॉल्स लाइक जिससे कुछ खराब हो सकता है यूजर एक्सपीरियंस एंड ऑल विच इज ऑब्वियसली राइट फॉर सम रीजंस सो या एक डिफरेंस रहता है कि इन योर ओन प्रोजेक्ट you have full freedom you can explore anything but in industrial project you'll have to obey the principles designed by your organizations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an anonymous question. So the question is, can you give us a referral in future in Paytm if possible?
Yeah, if your profile is really good, I can definitely refer you at Paytm.
Okay, great.
I definitely refer anyone. Like I still do it. Like on LinkedIn, I every day get a lot of resumes, CVs. After reviewing it, I just refer them. More questions?
Okay, so anyone has any more questions? Audience?
Yeah, am I audible? Yeah. So I had a question. Yeah, it's going.
Sorry, I didn't heard your question.
Can you come back again?
Like, did she ask question? Like,
Yeah, her voice wasn't clear. She did ask a question.
Okay, till that time we have another question. It is from Sonal. She's asking, did you follow any YouTube channel for learning Android development?
No, actually, my funda is like I never refer to any tutorials or YouTube channel for learning things because what happens कि जो tutorial makers रहते हैं basically वो just उनका जितना knowledge है उतना ही आपको सिखाएंगे. They will be never able to tell you things which are beyond their knowledge. So I always prefer referring to official docs, basically official site. Let's say Android. I would go developer.android.com for learning everything because that's maintained by Google. Whatever new will come, it will be updated there. Let's say you are a web developer, you should like refer to official, let's say JavaScript ka sample docs, React ke samples and docs. So that's my go-to platform. Like, and also at it when I started learning, Geo was not at that time, right? So at that time you have to survive with 1 GB per month data pack and all. So also at that time videos was not option for me. So I always refer text material basically by reading things.
Okay, cool. So we have one question from Shweta. She wanted to ask, ki, how did you handle with being in all the group for techs in college and still maintain your CGPA?
Like my CGPA was not that much good actually. Like just something like 8 pointer or something like that. Like till last from. So yeah, like I had passion for technology, so I maintained groups and take like when I was in third year, like COVID started in 2020. So I thought let's do something else like which can help your community basically. So this is how I started everything, and basically CGP. Okay, like I can tell you that I was not like daily, मतलब ऐसा नहीं हो कि रोज पढ़ाई वगैरह करता था. Like I was just like you guys कि एक रात के पहले सब पढ़ लो and just score marks, because मेरा भी मतलब इतना बनता नहीं था पढ़ाई से. I because you can also see like your syllabus doesn't teach you everything, and most of the things which are in syllabus are not actually helpful. You will realize that in some point. So that was my point actually. I never attended that much to academics and all.
Okay, that's a great answer. Like मेरी भी पढ़ाई से नहीं बनती. Okay, and we have one question from an FE student who's Vishal. So what should be a strategy from FE to get high package? When we have to and when do we have to decide our specific domain like Android or web? क्या करना
That
है?
is actually good work. Sorry, good question. I maybe missed that putting in slides. I will definitely add it for future slide. So yeah, being a student, I would say explore everything. Okay, let's say आपको अगर पता नहीं कि आपके इंटरेस्ट किस में, I would say आप सब एक्सप्लोर कर लो. जब तक आप स्टूडेंट हो एक्चुअली आपको आपके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी, आप ना वेब डेवलपमेंट ट्राई कर लो, आप मोबाइल डेवलपमेंट ट्राई कर लो, आप डेटा साइंस ट्राई कर लो, एंड एट द एंड यू विल रियलाइज कि आपको सच में किस में इंटरेस्ट है. एंड नॉट ओनली टेक. ओके, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ नॉन मतलब टेक में ऐसे भी और बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज है जिसमें कोडिंग नहीं लगती. लेट्स से यू आर समवन जिसको कोडिंग में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, यू कैन गो टू डिजाइनिंग. ओके, you can go to data engineering, data analytics, you may have heard. There is a testing. There are a lot of fields in tech which are divided by coding and non-coding. Then there is a DevOps. DevOps में भी coding रहती है, but it is more or like a infra, which is also a good position. DevOps मतलब basically आपको कंपनी का infrastructure संभालना होता है. Then cloud is also a thing, right? Cloud, you might have heard GCP or AWS, something like that. So there are I would say explore everything and जान लो कि आपको किस में इंटरेस्ट है, and once you pick that, just उसके पीछे लग जाओ and just be advanced in professional pro in it basically, and you will get what you want at the end of the day. So let's say when I was मैं जब स्टूडेंट था मैंने सब ट्राई किया. आई ट्राइड बैकएंड, आई ट्राइड वेब, आई ट्राइड एंड्रॉइड, AML छोड़ के सब ट्राई किया मैंने. वैसे भी AML में मुझे मतलब उतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं था पहले से, बट एट द एंड आई रियलाइज कि मोबाइल डेवलपमेंट इज समथिंग दैट आई लाइक अलॉट. लाइक मैं जिसमें जब मेरा टाइम स्पेंड होता है आई फील वेरी मतलब awesome लगता है मुझे. So that's how I pick mobile development. So yeah, being a student, explore everything and choose your domain of interest.
Okay, that's great. And we have one question from Prathamesh Patil. He says many people are doing an app development, like there's a lot of competition. So what should we do differently and how to get internship in app development?
For internships in app development, as I said earlier in slides as well, कि actually आपको directly internship तो मिलेगी नहीं कभी. You will have to study a lot. You will have to basically stand out from the audience. So आप अपना अच्छा प्रोफाइल बनाइए, good projects बनाइए. Like after making good project, just showcase them on social media, as I said. So इससे क्या होता है कि जब भी आप internship को apply करेंगे या फिर आपको खुद internship के opportunities आएंगे, basically people will reach you कि they have intern position, would we be able to apply. So जब आप ऐसा प्रोफाइल बनाएंगे तो you will definitely get opportunities in internships, because app development में generally ऐसा ही होता है.
Okay. I think we have an anonymous question. I don't know. Which asks, how is the interview process at Paytm? Like how many roles is it, how many rounds is it divided into, and what kind of questions do they ask?
So it is actually like at Paytm we have different level. Like it actually differs for each and every person. So let's say for me it was like 3 rounds. First round is like coding round where they ask you questions related to Android and basically framework and basics of programming language. They verify your technical skills. Then you will have to do, say, next round is like system design kind of thing in Android. Let's say I'm an Android developer, so they will ask you how to basically design architecture for XYZ app and like deep level architecture discussions basically. And next round are more on like low level stuff and basically managerial round, HR round, where you discuss things. So that's the process of most of the companies, actually, most of the product based companies in India. Anyone outside?
I'll add up something to that question. How does the cross functioning between teams work in any corporate maybe?
Okay, so
How
let's say I will give you example. So let's say आपने Paytm ऐप देखा होगा, तो there are a lot of सब products in Paytm. जैसे उसमें आप movies book कर सकते हो, movie tickets आए में, आप chat कर सकते हो, payment भेज सकते हो. There is a bank, and there are a lot of features. So basically teams are divided per features. कि मूवीज की टीम अलग हो गई एंड मेन पेटीएम की टीम अलग हो गई, होम स्क्रीन में जो दिखता है उसकी टीम अलग हो गई, चैट की टीम अलग हो गई. सो बेसिकली दिस टीम्स आर डिवाइडेड बाय प्रोडक्ट, सब प्रोडक्ट्स, एंड उनके बीच में फिर एक मेडिएटर रहता है जो बेसिकली मैनेज करता है ये सब. सो दिस इज हाउ बिग टीम्स वर्क इन एवरी, लाइक लेट्स से आप गूगल का भी एग्जांपल ले लो. सो गूगल तो बहुत बड़ा प्रोडक्ट है, उसका तो कंपैरिजन नहीं. लाइक गूगल एज यूट्यूब, गूगल एज जीमेल, लाइक मतलब अनगिनत प्रोडक्ट्स है गूगल के, तो राइट. सो गूगल में तो लाइक देयर इज अ वास्ट टीम्स डिवाइडेड पर प्रोडक्ट्स एंड उनका एक सिंगल सोर्स लाइक रहता है. So yeah, that's how big team works. I have got one question from slido.com.
Yeah.
That is about how you keep motivated yourself to learn software engineering subject and methodology during your academics, because it's totally theory based. So motivated means, okay. Yeah, I agree to your question, like you will lose motivation while learning this, but बेसिकली इंटरेस्ट तब आता है जब एक्चुअली वो आप फॉलो करते हो. सो यू नो जस्ट लर्निंग के टाइम पे यू लर्न दिस थिंग्स, बट एक्चुअली व्हेन यू follow this while doing your projects with your friends, then actually it helps you to basically know what exactly, like practically. Okay, वो theory हो गई सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग में, बट प्रैक्टिकली जब आप उसको ट्राई करते हो ना, तो यू विल गेट बेटर आइडिया कि ओके दैट वाज द पर्पस ऑफ दैट theory that I learned. So that's all. Like motivation is मतलब ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा वो once you follow it. Okay. More questions or?
Okay, any more questions from the audience? Like, or are we done? Okay, I don't think there are any more questions. So, like, I think you can proceed with the vote of thanks, or we have the shout out to the quiz winners.
Yeah. We have the enthusiastic participation. We have to address them. So guys, these are the names to all the quiz winners. I'll just say it out loud once. Very congratulations to Yogesh Kakade, Ravi Raj. Yeah, sorry.
Maybe you can share the screen. The names are in the slide too.
Oh, is my screen not visible? Okay.
Your screen is not visible.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So we'll begin again. A big shout out to all the winners. I'll just say the names out loud. Yogesh Kakade, Ravi Raj, CMS, Sonu Prasad, Prachi Lohar, Naitik Chaudhar, Chetan Kolhe, Rohan Patil, Digvijay Mangaonkar, Satyam, Prathamesh Patil, Vishal. Kudos to all you guys for your enthusiastic participation and the attention that you paid. Yeah. Big congratulations to all of you. So yeah, it's time. I know a lot of you guys की बहुत सारे लोगों की motivations अलग-अलग थी इस session को attend करने की. Some of you wanted to know about Google I/O, but most of you guys, Shreyas bhai, I have to tell you कि most of the हमारे registrations आए after we revealed the speaker's name, and that's a big kudos to you as well for inspiring not just like for inspiring a generation of our college batchmates कि हमारे जैसे एक हमारे कॉलेज से हमारे लैंड से एक बंदा आता है जो हमारी क्लासरूम्स में बैठ के पढ़ा हुआ है एंड ही गोज ऑन बिकमिंग गूगल डेवलपर एक्सपर्ट अ सीनियर डेवलपर एट एंड्रॉइड we also see ourselves coming there. So you are a lot of inspiration that you have put in for us. So a big thank you to you, and thank you for your time that you have given us today and enlightening us with all the insights you've got on Android. A big thanks to you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Like it was my actually honor to be here. So that's all. I'm glad that I could share my experience with you, and maybe it can be helpful for you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good sign. So yeah,